not be more excited to get you guys just to hear Murshidah's story and to get an opportunity to find out what's possible for you as well. And I'm excited to hear it because I haven't heard the full story. I've known Murshidah for a while now. We are in the same, we are both coached by the same coach, and we've been to a couple of different live events together. We travel the world together. It is super exciting. And like I said, just to bring you into my Facebook group and have you get to tell your story is really, really exciting. Because I love the story. It just shows what's possible for all of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is,
so,
it is wonderful. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So tell us, what is this manifesting stuff all about? And,
all right.
and tell us how you did it and what your story is.
Okay, let's tell my story. And as I go through my story, there are learnings, and I'll put in the learnings at the same time. All right. So, okay, backtrack 2006. 2006 was the time when it all happened, when I realized how I could manifest money in a short period of time. And 2006 was one of the lowest points in my life as well. Backtrack a little bit more. I lost a lot of money in my last business, and my last business closed officially in 2004 for me. So between 2004 and 2006, I was in a pretty uncomfortable comfort zone. I was broke and I was complaining. I was in a low vibe. Even though I got married at that time, it was a happy period, but we were both broke. So we were struggling most of the time. In 2006, my daughter was born. And, long story short, because we're struggling, a lot of people didn't like us, the way we live our life, and there were a lot of judgments. So my husband decided to voluntarily become homeless. He stayed somewhere else. So I was trying to build up my life, and I had a little newborn child at that time. And then after that, my husband called me and he said, hey, I have a job in Kuala Lumpur, and yay, it's a catering company. It comes with housing, it comes with the food, so you don't have to worry about anything. I'll take care of you. I'll come back and get you in 2 weeks' time. That's what he said. So I was like, yay, my husband gonna take care of me. I'm gonna be saved and blah blah blah. 2 weeks later, he came and we drove to Kuala Lumpur. And upon arrival, the next morning, I met up with his boss, and his boss fired him on the spot. And I was there. And what happened was that I said, okay, but you're going to get paid, right, for the 2 weeks. And no, he was not. He was not going to get paid for the 2 weeks of him working, because it was a trial period. And at that point, I was like, oh my God. Why didn't he sign a contract? Why didn't he? And all these negative emotions started coming up. And then in the car on the way back, I was like really in a negative state. I was angry, and I would say, I should leave him, and blah, all these thoughts started coming in. And then I look at my baby, and she was about 7 months old at that time. And I was breastfeeding her. I look at my baby, and I look at my husband, and he was obviously distressed. And I said, no, I got to keep this marriage together. I got to go through no matter what. And you know what? Before we left, the boss said, it's okay. You can stay in the house for 2 weeks. I'll let you stay. You'll go and find your own accommodation. And then when you're ready, but I need the house in 2 weeks' time. You can use it in the meantime. And I was like, I only have 2 weeks to stay in the house. I have 2 weeks to figure out what we're going to do. And that was when I said, I'm going to make it happen. And that is the why, my why. That was when I discovered my why. So one of the first things that I'm going to share with you is, you want to manifest anything, it all starts with the why, the intention. And to me, there was no turning back, and I had to do it no matter what. And in 2 weeks, right? So what happened when I reached the house, it was a nice house that was given a temporary accommodation. I didn't say a word. I was a little pissed off still, but I was like, trying to calm down. So I went around trying to navigate around the house, see what we have in the house. So I went to one of the rooms, and it was a storeroom. I opened the door, and I found 3-in-1 coffee, Nescafe 3-in-1 coffee, and I found crackers. And I'm like, yay, food. I can, when I saw coffee and crackers, that made my day. And I was so happy. I was so filled with joy, and my whole vibe changed after that. All right. So I was making myself a hot cup of coffee and eating crackers, and I opened my laptop. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just I just opened my laptop. And when I opened my laptop, I turned on the computer and I saw on my desktop a Microsoft Excel file that says Malaysian CEOs, right? And it's just a Malaysian CEO file. And I opened it, it was an Excel file, and I found name and email addresses of these people that I had no idea, and there was no phone number and nothing, but I could see which companies they were from. And I said, that could be from my last business, perhaps my last staff actually keyed in a database. So I started sending out, I got a free broadband at that time, a free Wi-Fi, some broadband Wi-Fi, and then I sent out emails to all of these people, and I didn't ask for a job. What I did was, I said, you know, I'd like to meet up with you. I'm here in Kuala Lumpur. This is my background. I want to see how I can add value to you. Is it possible that we meet up within this few days? And nobody replied. I sent out that email in the morning, and nobody replied until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. One company, the publishers of Napoleon Hill Associates, the publishers of this book.
Yes.
Think and Grow Rich. Yes,
yep.
And I bought this book after that, right? So the publisher emailed me and she said, yes, come tomorrow morning. I've got like half an hour, 9 o'clock is fine. And she gave me the address. And I was like, oh my God, I got a appointment. So the next day, went to the office, and she was so surprised because I brought my baby along with me. You know, I had a newborn and she was crawling all over the meeting room. And I started, you know, I was very professional in my whole vibe. I was in my professional vibe. I asked her, so what do you do? Tell me more about yourself. How do you start this business? How do you get Napoleon Hill Associates into Malaysia? All of these questions. And what I noticed was this: when people started talking about themselves, they love it. When you show that you care, they love it. And she started to like me. And then I asked her this magic question. I said, so what do you think I can do to help you, you know, grow your business better? And she said, oh, I would love it if you could be a trainer. I would love it if you would buy this Science of Success, you know, material, and it's like 4,000 ringgit, and I had no money. And I look in my pocket, you know, that day when my husband was fired, I look at my pocket, I had only 2 ringgit. 2 ringgit is like 50 cents US. That was all I had. I had no money. I was like in that state of mind where, you know, what am I going to do? I had nothing else to lose, right? So she said, it's 4,000 ringgit. I said, oh, well, I don't have 4,000. I mean, I'm not ready. I didn't say I don't have 4,000. I said, well, I'm not ready yet for this, but maybe I can help you promote this. And she said, oh, that would be great. She said, I'm looking for anybody who wants to become a trainer, somebody who wants to, you know, speak better, want to know about the science of success and all of those good stuff. 4,000 ringgit. And she said, Malaysians, they don't really buy. It's an online course. They like books. They like a teacher in front of them, but they don't like an online course. At that time, and now it's different. There's 2006. And they said they still want a teacher in front of them. So I said, okay, let me find out who would be interested. The moment I left the office, I took this phone. Remember this phone?
Yep.
Yeah. And I started sending SMS because she said Malaysians didn't want to buy. So I said, who do I know? I know Singaporeans, right? So I started messaging Singaporeans that I know who run agencies, who are insurance agents and who have to speak. And I messaged them, oh, do you want to become a certified Science of Success Napoleon Hill trainer? It's only 4,000. It's 4,000 ringgit, and you know, it's a long distance course, self-study and all that. Nobody replied. I sent about 100 people using this phone. Nobody replied. But in the afternoon, one person messaged me. Is it 4,000 ringgit or $4,000? And I said, it's 4,000 ringgit. And she was like, oh my God, that's so cheap. She said, I just found out in Singapore, it's like $10,000, you know, because it comes with a trainer and you have to attend classes with certification. So she said, and I said, no, this is purely online. You have to submit all your papers online and all that. She said, that's better because I'm so busy, I can't attend classes. And she wired the money to me on the same day, 4,000 ringgit, right? So I was like, wow, I took the money. I went straight to the office, the Napoleon Hill office, and I said, yeah, somebody bought this package. Can you deliver? And they were like, oh my God, we met you in the morning and you got a sale. And immediately she gave me, the CEO gave me 1,000 ringgit. And that's like what, $300, 200 plus US dollars. And to me, that was a lot of money, right? 1,000 ringgit at that time. I was like, wow, I got 1,000 ringgit within one day, right? And then, and they said, oh, don't worry, next time anybody pays by credit card, I'll still give you cash. They pay installment, I'll still give you cash. So I was like, okay. And I got motivated. My vibe changed. And after that, and the first thing I did was I celebrated with my money. I ate a big greasy noodles of Indian fried noodles. I was so happy.
Wow.
And then I did the same thing the next few days. I messaged, I started to research, I started calling people. And you know what? 3 days, there was no response. Nobody said anything. There was no reply. And but you know what? That incident got me influential in Malaysia. People started getting to know me because I was writing to them, talking and emailing. And then the Singaporean insurance agent who bought the package, she called me and she said, Mushida, I got this package and it's so amazing. It's really worth its value for money and all that. And she called me to thank me, for introducing her the package. So I asked her the same magic question. I said, how can I help you do better in your business? And she said, do you know any rich people in Malaysia? She said, like super rich people, like in Malaysia, they call it Datuk, Datin and all that, like, which is like Sirs, Lords and stuff. So she said, do you know all these people? Then I said, well, I know one, the CEO of Napoleon Hill. Do you want to meet her? And then she said, yes, would you introduce me? And of course, who wouldn't want to meet the customer, the person who just bought the package? And so I linked them up. She came to Kuala Lumpur, the insurance agent came to Kuala Lumpur, they had a meeting, and I was there, couldn't understand a word because they were speaking in Chinese. The moment they came out, the insurance agent came out, she told me, Mushida, thank you so much. That was my ideal client. It's so challenging to meet people of her level, but you introduced me, I'm so grateful. She's gonna get one of my insurance packages, investment packages, and I would love to give you your commission upfront. She told me that. And then I was like, oh, there's a commission. I didn't ask for a commission. All I wanted to do was, put people up together and do that. And she said, is it okay if I bank in before I leave tonight? I said, okay, whatever. So in my mind, it was like, wow, another couple of $100, it'll be fun and stuff like that. I didn't check my bank account. The next morning, when I checked my bank account, I found 20,000 in my bank account, which is $5,000 US. And then I thought, what was going on? Because in my mind, when I calculated, I knew I had to get out of the house in 2 weeks' time. And I knew I had to get at least about 1,000 US dollars at that time. It's about 5,000 ringgit. I said, to get a decent place. And I already visualized that I wanted, a decent babysitter for my daughter and a security guard. But I didn't expect that much coming in, right? And then I was like, what did I do? And then looking back, and as I keep working on this system of manifesting, and I keep manifesting it to this day, because sometimes we do need stuff that to get. I found these steps, and these are the steps that I'm going to share with you now to how to manifest money quickly, right? Yeah. Number one is your why. Your why is so important. Why do you need to manifest the money? It is not something like, oh, it's okay, it'll be nice. I stayed broke for 2 years in Singapore because I was in comfort zone, even though I had no money. And I was like, oh, it's okay, I have a roof over my head, somebody's taking care of me and all that kind of thing. That was not a strong enough why. So when I was almost homeless and it was not in my reality at all that I was going to be homeless again, get kicked out of their house. I said, I got to do it no matter what. So your why is so important. Why do you need the money? All right. And number two, I had 2 weeks in that house to stay. If she had told me, oh, you can stay as long as you like, I don't believe I will have that. I will manifest that money that much. I had a deadline. I said, I got to get it within 2 weeks. Otherwise, she's going to kick me out and I've got no place to go. So set a deadline. And that deadline, that's as far as I practice it until now, it really works. I set a deadline, end of January, end of February, or something like that. Set a deadline. And number three, set a goal and target. I had a goal in mind, and in my mind at that time, it was 5,000 ringgit. It was not $5,000, it was 5,000 ringgit, which is about 1,000 plus. Enough for me to get a decent home, but I did set a target, but I got more. And this is what happened, right? Number 4 was gratitude. Do you notice? And I noticed that when I was in that low vibe, complaining, woe is me, I was stuck broke for 2 years. But the moment when I was in Malaysia and I thought I was going to be hungry and how am I going to feed my daughter and all that. And when I saw cookies and crackers and coffee, my vibe changed. You know, that was the beginning of me finding hope. So you got to be grateful. First, got to be grateful for whatever you have in your life. And that keeps your vibe high, you know, your energy must be high. Number 5 is look at your current resources. You are probably sitting on money already. There's something you can sell. There's something you can package. There's something that someone is willing to buy. And at that time, I didn't realize this. I had contacts. I had friends in both Singapore and Malaysia that I took for, because I didn't need them. I didn't need to buy anything from them. They didn't need to buy anything from me. But there were people that I know who needed each other, right? And that is my asset. So what is your asset? So look at your current resources. There is something that you already have that someone is so willing to pay you a lot of money for, right? What knowledge, what resources. Those are your secrets to getting the money, to manifesting the money also. And number 6, you got to ask the right questions, you know. At that time, what I noticed was I asked the right questions. What can I do? How can I get out of this in that period of time? And how can I help you? Those are the right questions. Wrong questions will be like, why didn't he sign the contract? Why is the economy so bad? You know, those are all the useless questions. So learn to ask right questions in your head, ask yourself the right questions, and ask people the right questions. All right. And number 7, you got to give. You know, this is why, Nicole, I am so passionate about helping entrepreneurs have a giving element in their business. Because for me, what I find the secret to attracting a lot of money is the law of giving. The more you give, the more you will receive, right? So at that time, I didn't have money. I needed money, but I didn't have money. But what did I have? I gave contacts. I gave my time. I offered help. And I notice every time when I'm down, I just go into my refugee circle and say, who needs what? I'll help you find someone who can help you. You know, that kind of thing. And you know what? My life always changes immediately after that. So give and activate that law of giving in whatever area, you know, you are in that you can give. Number 8, be in motion. Yeah. And be very clear of your desired outcome. You know, 2 years I was in Singapore and I was not in motion. I was behind my laptop, hoping, or being busy. There was nothing I was really doing. So you've got to take action. You set an intention, your why is strong. Just be in action, you know. And even though there was no sales at that time, when I need, you know, that time when I first closed the package and the time when I got that 20,000, but I was always talking to people, offering service, meeting, and being in motion. That had repercussion effects later on, and that was how my level of influence grew in Malaysia. And number 9, you've got to celebrate when you receive anything, even though you say, oh, I'm trying to manifest $5,000 or $20,000. Even if you get $5, celebrate, be very grateful. Don't say things like, oh, I didn't get it, I only got $5, I didn't get 20,000. You know, if that $5 could lead you to your 20K or even more, you know. So celebrate every moment. So energy has to be high and be grateful. So these are the steps to quickly manifest money. And you look, it's actually each and every one of us is already sitting on money. So that is what you need to look around and see that what you already have, right? And if you can, I'd like to share 5 more things around the attitude. Those are the steps and what you also need to be in order for you to manifest. Number 1 is your money mindset. Your wealth consciousness is so important. A lot of times people sabotage themselves by saying, oh, I don't think it's realistic for me to manifest that money in that time. You know, that again is a wealth consciousness issue. Why not? Right? So keep working on your money mindset, and books like Think and Grow Rich, being around people who have high wealth consciousness, that is so important, right? Number one, money mindset. Number two is to take responsibility. Your attitude around responsibility. Don't complain, no excuses, don't criticize, don't blame. Those are all low energy vibes that will not help you attract money at all, right? So take responsibility. Taking responsibility means no excuses, no having a full no excuses policy, no blaming, no complaining, and all that, right? Yeah. Just take action. Number three, you've got to be visible. That was what got me to be, referred to, word of mouth marketed to. People know me and they say, oh, you should talk to Mushida, invite her to speak at conferences, because being visible is something that makes you known for what it is that you do, right? And you can't do it when you're just stuck at home being depressed. Number four, your network is your net worth. And what I realized is the more I have quality people in my circle, it puts me in a different level of worth as well. And it doesn't mean like, oh, they have to be rich and all that. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that you have this network of communities that you are close to, and you can always refer people because you are like the connecting point, right? And for me in my business right now, I do have companies who want to get in touch with the low income. They want to be able to give. They want to reach out to the refugees, but because they are not in that, they don't have that circle, they come to me and they ask me, right? So who are you surrounded by? Who do you know? That becomes your net worth as well. And the last but not least is having a strong personal brand. And this is something I cannot emphasize enough. And this is also what I coach my clients on, to have a strong personal brand. That is the essence of who you are. That is how you are known as, what your clients see you as, what the public see you as. So what is your personal brand? What do you stand for? And this message must come out through you. And that is where, a lot of things will be easier for you as well. So those are the qualities that I would highly recommend if you're going to excel in your career, if you want to excel in your business. And the 9 steps is what you need to do to manifest anything quickly. Yeah? And if you don't get it, never mind. Keep practicing. Maybe your deadline is not clear. Maybe your action is something that you stop, or you're doing something wrong, or you're not giving enough. So these are things that I say always tweak, but the steps will always work.
Yeah, I love that. And I really appreciate that you said practice, that you're still doing it every day. Yes. It's like a muscle. Like you have to, you don't just go to the gym and get in shape and then stop going to the gym. Like you always have to maintain what you've done and practice and get better.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was phenomenal. So the 9 steps are the 9 steps to manifesting money quickly. And then I love that little bonus, qualities to excel in your business and career. And you hit the nail on the head with all of that. It's something I was working with a client on earlier today. The clients that you are going to get, you probably already know them right now. There's a really good, almost 100% chance that you know them right now. You've got to reach out to your personal network.
Exactly. Your hot market.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And now, Nicole, let's hear, like, sometimes people, they do business, they manifest money, and they promote themselves, and then after they get objections. People will say, I don't think it's now. I don't have the money. So let's hear Nicole.
Yes, and objections are so funny because it's also something that you want to constantly be working on and improving. And you do that by practicing. You do that by, the more discovery calls you get, the better you're going to get at the discovery call, the better you're going to get at understanding what the objections really are. So I narrowed this down. One of my favorite things to talk about are objections. And I've talked about so many different ways to overcome them. What I did for tonight is I narrowed it down to 4 that I really like, that I've been focusing on right now. And then I put a bonus one in there. So the first thing, and this goes along with what you were saying as well, Murshida, you've got to reframe your mindset about what an objection actually is. So I think people want to shut down because they look at an objection as a bad thing. So what I want you to think about is it's a buying signal. An objection is actually a buying signal, because when somebody is 100% sure that they don't want something, they will 100% tell you they don't want it. So I use this example a lot. It's a little extreme, but I think it gets the point across. If you were to offer me the opportunity to get stabbed in the stomach, I know for sure I don't want to. I'd say no. No, I don't want to. I don't want that. I wouldn't say, well, how do you think it's going to feel? Do you think it's going to hurt really bad? I wouldn't start asking questions about it. I know for sure I don't want it. So if you think about an objection like that, it's really, they're trying to clarify something through the conversation you've had in discussing what you're offering them. They're asking some questions because they're genuinely interested, or else they wouldn't ask questions at all. They'd just flat out say no. Mm-hmm. So I want you to think about reframing your mindset and think of an objection as a buying signal. And what it really is, it's an opportunity for you to do a couple of things: to continue selling, but not to continue selling by talking. If you've worked with me as your sales coach in any capacity, you know it's not about you talking. It's about you asking the questions and getting them talking. So reframe your mindset by looking at it as a buying signal, and use it as an opportunity to extend the conversation by asking some more questions. So you don't want to just feel like you need to answer them right away when they object to something. It's an opportunity for you to get to know them better and understand them better, because there's a reason for the objection. It means they're interested in what you've offered, but there are some reservations or fears behind them moving forward and just saying yes right away. Okay. So number one, reframe your mindset and don't think of an objection as a bad thing. It's a really cool second chance for you to ask more questions and explain something that maybe you didn't explain, well enough the first time. Number two, before you even get on the call, you need to have some kind of system to qualify the people that are getting on the call with you. So a lot of times, if they are objections that are kind of abstract and kind of out of nowhere, you want to make sure that you have your ideal client on the phone. The discovery call is just as much for you to find out if they're the right person for you to work with as it is for them to find out if you're the right coach. But if you're getting the wrong person on the call, they're going to have a lot more objections than your ideal client would have. So I want you to think about how you're building your community, who you're inviting in to the community that you're building. And you want to make sure that you invite people in that fit in that category, in your niche, in your target market, and get to know them. It's not about building so many people in your Facebook group, like, oh, I want numbers, I want numbers, I want numbers. Do you know them, or are they numbers? Because there's a big difference between those two. People want to buy from people. So when you qualify before you get on a phone call with somebody, then you are eliminating some of these opportunities for objections to come up, because you know you have the right person on the phone. You still have to discover if it's a right fit, but qualifying before you even get on the phone is going to save you a lot of time getting on discovery calls that you have no business being on, because they flat out are not the right person. One of the ways you can do this, and I recommend this, have a questionnaire that they have to fill out. So as soon as they express interest in a discovery call with you, this is not about you being desperate and getting them on the call as soon as you can. This is about you doing your due diligence and making sure you're getting the right person on the call. Come up with a questionnaire. It doesn't have to be long. It can be a 5-question, just something really simple, and ask them some basic questions around, are you prepared to make an investment in coaching? On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you value personal development and coaching? Have you been to my website and looked at my packages? These are all really valuable questions to ask them, because if they have not been to your website and looked at your packages, if they don't value personal development, if they don't have the money for the investment, then you're going to know before you even get on the call they're not the right fit, and you can address it before you even get on the call with them. So you want to make sure that that person that is willing to get on the call with you is also willing, if it's the right fit, to pay you money and move forward with you. And if they say, oh, I was just looking to find out some information, I haven't been to your website yet. Great, why don't you go check out my website and then let me know down the road if you're interested in working together. And you can kind of weed out those people who are just lookers and they aren't necessarily ready to make the commitment. And you owe it to yourself to find that out before you get on the call. So that's number 2, qualify before the call. Number 3, handle the objection before it becomes an objection. So when you get on a call, there's this thing called, some people call it pre-framing. So, sales is all about relations and, and getting to know somebody. So you can have a little chit chat at the beginning. You want to make it personable, but then ask them some questions right from the beginning. Like, this is my favorite one. And it's like solid gold. I tell all of my clients to use it. I use it all the time. What would make this call a success for you? Find out right from the beginning. Get your little chit chat out of the way, get to know them a little bit for a minute or two, and then get right down to business and say, I'm curious. I'm really excited we're on this call together. I look forward to getting to know you better. I would love to know what would make this call a success for you. So you're telling them what you want to get out of the call, not what you want to get out of it, but you're excited to get to know them. You're excited to discover if this would be a good fit. What would be important for you? And then they'll tell you. Some people will say, well, I was just looking for information. You don't have to continue the call if it's somebody who's just looking for information. You can redirect them to your website, not in a rude or mean way. You can say, great, I've got all of this listed on my website. I'd love for you to check it out and really, do some research and see if it's the right fit for you. Since we're on the call, I can answer some questions that you have right now and just redirect them back to where they can find the information. You don't need to be the person that gives them that information on the call when it's available on your website. So that goes back to the qualifying that I talked about in step 2, is you want to make sure before you get on the call that you've qualified them. But once you're on the call, ask some really important questions at the beginning. You can also ask things like, who else in your world, who else in your family is this important to? So if it depends on who you're talking to. I work with health coaches. And let's say that I work with a health coach who is a mom, a stay-at-home mom, and her husband works full-time. I might want to find out, like, how important is it to you and how important is it to your husband that this business succeeds? Because one of the things that I need to know is, are you serious enough that you're going to allow me to push you and get you out of your comfort zone? And I need to know, is this a hobby? Are you considering it a hobby? Or are you really going all in to make this happen? And some of their objections are going to be based on their fears and their lack of full-on commitment. So you want to find out from the beginning, how committed are you? Who else is this important to you in your life, important to in your life and in your family? So handle it before the objection, or just straight up ask, how does your husband feel about you being on this call? Does he know that you're interested in coaching? Does he know that you're interested in making, an investment? How does he feel about the investment? You have every right to control the conversation from the beginning by asking the questions that you need to know to get the information to give you the intel you need to make the right decision. So some of these objections, so for example, if you say, how does your husband feel about this? Oh, he's really excited for me. So when she tries to, at the end of the call, say, well, I need to talk to my husband and find out, if this is something he wants me to do. Oh, I told you, I thought you said he was really excited about this. So you can cover these things before they come up at the end. Don't let the objection get to the objection. So handle it before it becomes an objection. And don't forget my favorite question, what would make this call a success for you? And then my 4th step is active listening. This is the hardest one. It's the hardest one for me, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm a talker, but you've got to hear what they're saying. You've got to listen to what they're saying. And there's a lot of different signs and symbols and body language that you can give. Depends on where you're having the call. I would recommend having your discovery calls on Zoom. You can be taking notes. You can be shaking your head and giving, the listening signals. You can mirror back to them. So active listening is listening, but sometimes you can repeat back to them what they've said just to confirm that you've heard the right thing. And you really want to understand why they want to make this change. So Marshita, you talked about the why, know your why. Everybody in any decision, any intention that they have, they should always know why they have that intention. Be very clear on your why, no matter what you're doing, whether you're manifesting money, you're trying to get a job or hire a coach, know your why. So you're really clear on why you're doing it. You're not just going through the motions. So for active listening, you want to know their pain points because people buy with emotion. You're going to eliminate some of those objections if you're able to really address their pain points using their language. And on the call, you just repeat back to them what they told you. Like I have people all the time on the call say, I would do anything to make this work. They would do anything right up until the point where their excuses start. And then they start listing their excuses. Well, I thought you said you'd do anything to make this work. Like, where, you know, you need to decide which story is true. You'll do anything, or you'll do anything right up to the point of not having the time, not having the money, not having, you know, there are things that people say that you want to really listen to and make sure that you are hearing what they're saying and use that in your conversation with them, so that the objections, when they try to bring things up, you can remind them, well, you know, I get that this is a really big decision to make, but I also know that you spent 30 minutes telling me how important your dreams were to you, and now you're about to abandon them in the name of time and money. So you want to make sure that you are active listening and hear their pain points. And then what you're selling them on is, you know, I love using this. Sell them on the destination, not the plane ride. Nobody, if you want to go to Paris for a vacation, you're excited and lit up about Paris and the Eiffel Tower and Chanel and all the things. You're not thinking about, oh, I can't wait for the plane ride. I mean, you can enjoy the plane ride, but that's not, you're worried. You're not worried. You're excited about getting to Paris. You don't really care how you get to Paris. You just are excited about Paris. And it's the same thing with what you're selling as a coach. Sell them the destination. Sell them what the results are going to be from your work together. Not the, we have weekly accountability calls and we have, you know, you're going to eliminate some objections when you connect to the emotion behind why they want to make the call or make the decision. So when you continue to connect them to their vision, to the emotion, that's going to bring them back to, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I know I can lose the weight this time. Yes, I know I can manifest the money. Yes, I know I can balance my hormones. Whatever it is that you're coaching them on, keep connecting them to their why, to what it is that they want to make happen. So that's number 4, active listening. So let me review the 4 steps real quick. Reframe your mindset about what an objection actually is. Qualify before you get on the call and make sure that they have a right to be on that call with you. Handle the objection before it handles you. So spend some time at the beginning of the call asking some very open-ended, informative questions that will help you understand how committed they are. And then number 4, active listening. You've got to listen to them and use their words in the conversation. That's the most important thing you can do. And then the bonus one that I have, this is the one that always used to make me mad when people would tell me, you got to practice. And it would make me mad, not in a, I would complain and get grumpy kind of way, but I was always looking for the secret. I was always looking for the trick. I was always looking for the answer until I stopped looking. And then guess what happened? It all came together. Yeah. Things started falling into place because I was practicing. I was doing the work. I was following the steps. And all of a sudden sales became a lot easier because I wasn't looking for the secret or the answer to how do I get 8,000 people on my email list overnight? You don't. You know. And the more you're looking for these, you know, it's like, how do I lose the weight? Well, if you're looking for a diet pill that's going to make you lose the weight overnight, we all know if you gained the weight, you don't lose the weight in a shorter amount of time than you gained it. It doesn't just happen quickly like that. So practice, practice, practice. That means practice your discovery calls, practice your conversations with people, write down lists of open-ended questions that you like. I have a whole list that I use on any discovery call that I have of open-ended questions that I can use to extract information that I need to help the call go well. So write your discovery call script. If you don't know how to write one, that's why you hire a sales coach and we work on that together. I also have a discovery call flow script that I will send out to anybody on this training that wants it. You just send me a message and I will make sure that it gets to you. It's really great. It gives you a lot of open-ended questions and a lot of direction on how you can write your own discovery call. So, or your own script. And I would absolutely write it, read it, practice it, find a friend to practice it with, whoever you know will sit down and do that with you. Practice, practice, practice. And that's going to make you feel so much more prepared in overcoming objections. So those are my 4 steps plus my bonus 5th step, which is you got to practice. That's the only way you're going to get better. I love saying, our coach says this all the time, it's awkward until it's elegant.
Exactly.
And that is something that is your reality. Just be in reality with it. It's going to be awkward and weird. But the more you practice, you're going to feel really comfortable and you're going to get really good at it.
Yes, exactly. It's all about doing and practicing and keep improving, right?
Yep. Well, just like you said, you're constantly working on your manifestation skills. Even though you clearly know what you're doing, you're still always refining and tweaking and making sure that you're practicing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love it. Good. Okay. So here's going to be the tough part, I think, because we need to figure out how to get questions.
Yeah, because I got some messages from some people who said they've already sent a request to join the group,
Okay.
but pending. How can I listen to that?
Oh,
She said.
shoot. Okay, let's
All
see.
right.
See, this is, we were so proud of ourselves for being high tech, and now we're
And I've got some people messaging me on
oh, yeah,
Facebook
sure.
as well. Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. Oh gosh, we do have okay, let's see.
Facebook as well. Okay,
There's
okay.
Bridget being visible.
Oh gosh, we do have
Okay. Yep. Okay, I don't think we have any questions.
We don't?
Sorry guys, it seems like we might be on a second or two delay with what you're, so if you're giving if you're asking questions, it might take a minute for us to hear them.
Sorry guys, it seems like we might be on a second or
Yeah.
two delay.
Yeah, I hear that in the background.
And then you can probably hear the feedback, huh?
Yeah. So, all right. But what we can do is we'll do this. We'll send a replay.
Yes.
Yeah, I do have messages on my Facebook saying that they can't get in. They
Oh,
can't
shoot.
listen. Yeah, but it's okay. We'll send it on a replay. That's fine. So
Well, I'll let them in too, and it'll still be in here, and we'll make sure we get. But I think we should do what you and I said we were going to do, which is the watch party.
yes, we're gonna do watch party, and watch parties works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
And yes, and I would like to also share those steps. I'll send the steps to whoever sends me an email, and we'll see how we can work together as well in terms of help you manifest 0 to 5,000 US dollars within 30 to 90 days. I have this challenge for my clients to manifest that amount of money and keeping it sustainable through their business.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You guys, I also want to tell you, Marshita is just one of those people that not only does she come on and share her knowledge and everything with you and how to manifest money, but she's making the world a better place at the same time. And I love that. I wrote it down. You can create money and help the world. And that's your business model. That's your whole mentality is I can create money and I can help make the world a better place.
Exactly.
And I think that's so amazing. And you have a foundation that you're starting. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you have
I have a social I have a social enterprise that has a one help one model where every training is actually contributing to the skills and mindset of refugees here living in Malaysia. But I'm extending this even bigger. This year in July, I'm launching a platform called Leave a Legacy platform, where people can do business, network with each other, and at the same time, do social impact work together through this platform, where 3 main areas of concern. One is the environment. So if anyone out there is through their business, they want to save the environment, that is one. The other one is to eliminate poverty. That means helping people raise their economy so that they come out of poverty. And the other one is on community development. So it's knowledge, skills, and all that. So that's how we help people come out of poverty, have better children, have access to better education, and then also to make the world cleaner, with all these climate change issues that's happening. So environmental issues are also very passionate. We are very passionate in our lives. So our platform is also something where entrepreneurs can come in, refer business, make money together, and also help whatever areas of their cause, and we'll coach them on instilling that business model within their business and make money at the same time, and you're doing good at the same time.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. You're helping yourself, you're helping the world, you're serving people, and you're putting your gifts to use. And I love that one of yours, like you said, in all of your steps, you knew people and you just started reaching out, and you're a connector, and you're sitting on resources, you're sitting on assets in the way of people that that you've met throughout your life. And when you use that, you make the world a better place because you're using people's gifts and connecting people.
Yes, that's exactly it. Spreading love and respect.
Spreading love and respect. I love that.
That's right.
So how can they, I think you have a link that you're going to give me that I can post in the group if they're interested
Yes.
in finding out more about that.
Yes, I will send it across. I'll put it. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put it. Is it in the comments or I'll pass it to you?
Well, that's for sure. We'll put it in the comments, but then we'll make sure
Yeah.
that we put it somewhere where they can see it, you know, as
Yeah.
an announcement in the group as well, so that they know exactly how to get in there.
Okay, wonderful.
Cool.
Okay.
And then I think we'll make an announcement about a watch party. That way in the next couple of days when we can figure it out, well, you already know how to do the watch party. So we'll make that happen for anybody who wants to watch it with us and be able to ask
Yes.
more questions.
Yes, exactly. Okay, this has been so awesome, Nicole. Thank you
Yes.
so much for
I know,
having
Rashida,
me.
I really enjoyed having you on. Thank you so, so much. And that was really valuable information that you shared. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if we can figure out